His divine grace. Abhay Charnadavinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki. Their most merciful Lordship Shri Shivarakunja Vihari ki. Shri Jagannath Shri Baladeva Subhadra ki. Shri Nathaji Shri Balagopal ki. Shri Gornitai ki. Nitai Go Prem. All glories to the assembled. All glories to the assembled. All glories to the Lotus feet of Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya. Naram Chaiva Narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam. Tato Jayamudiraye. Nasta Prayashu Bhadreshu. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke. Bhaktir Bhagavati Naistaki. Today is near Ekadashi. Padmini. This is the last month.
This is the last one.
Of May.
Before Nirjal. The next one is Nirjal Ekadashi. Pandava Nirjal Ekadashi is next Ekadashi.
See, we did Apara Ekadashi last, didn't we?
Yeah.
And
Apara after Padmini.
Apara and Padmini is next, but not in the book. The Book chapter 13 is Apara, chapter 14 is Nirjala.
How is it? I don't know.
And you're saying it's what? Yogini?
Padmini?
Padmini.
Yeah, Padmini.
Padmini is chapter 25. That is, it's not listed as, that's peculiar. Okay, let's see what Padmini is. It's chapter 25 here. Where did you get that it's Padmini?
I got from Vaishnava calendar.
Oh, all right. Padmini Ekādaśī. Let's see. During the light fortnight of the extra leap year month. That's not this year. This is 26, right? So I would say we are on Nirjala Ekādaśī.
But everywhere it's Padmini.
Do you know our calendar, what it says?
I see. Just a minute.
Oh, okay.
Padmini.
It says Padmini.
Yes.
All right.
Fasting for Padmini Ekādaśī.
We will be reading from chapter 25 of the Ekadashi book, entitled Padmini Ekādaśī. Sutta Goswami said, Yudhisthira Maharaj said, O Janardana, what is the name of the Ekadashi that occurs during the light fortnight of the extra leap year month?
That is Puruṣottama Māsa, Adhika Māsa.
Okay. How does one observe it properly? Please narrate this to me. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa, replied, O Pandava, the meritorious Ekadashi that occurs during the light fortnight of the extra month of leap year is called Padmini. It is very auspicious. The fortunate soul who observes it with great determination and faith will return to my personal abode. This extra month Ekadashi is as powerful as I am in nullifying sins. Even four-headed Lord Brahma cannot glorify it sufficiently. Long ago, Lord Brahma told Narada about this liberating, sin-removing Ekadashi. Lotus-eyed Lord Krishna became very pleased by the inquiry of Yudhisthira and spoke to him the following pleasing words. O King, please listen carefully as I narrate to you the process of fasting on Padmini Ekādashi, which is rarely done, even by great sages. One should begin his fast on Dasmi, the day before Ekadashi, by not eating any urad dal, pink dal, chickpeas, spinach, honey, or sea salt, and also by not dining in the homes of others or off of bell metal plates. These 8 things should be avoided. One should eat only once on Dasmi, sleep on the ground, and remain celibate. On Ekadashi, the devotee should rise early in the morning, but should not brush his teeth. Then he should thoroughly bathe in a place of pilgrimage, if possible. While chanting sacred hymns from the Vedas, he should smear his body with cow dung mixed with clay, sesame seed paste, kusha grass, and the powder of amalaki fruits. Then the devotee should take another thorough bath, after which he should chant the following prayers. O sacred clay, you have been created by Lord Brahma, purified by Kasyapa Muni, and lifted by Lord Krishna in his form as Varaha, the boar incarnation. O clay, please purify my head, eyes, and other limbs. O clay, I offer my obeisances unto you. Kindly purify me so I may worship the Supreme Lord Hari. O cow dung, you possess medicinal and antiseptic qualities because you have come directly from the stomach of our universal mother, the cow. You can purify the entire planet Earth. Please accept my humble obeisances and purify me. O Amalaki fruits, please accept my humble obeisances. You have taken your birth from the saliva of Lord Brahma, and thus by your very presence, the entire planet is purified. Kindly cleanse and purify my bodily limbs. O Supreme Lord Vishnu, O God of gods, O Master of the universe, O Holder of the conch, disc, club, and lotus, please allow me to bathe in all the holy places of pilgrimage. Reciting these excellent prayers, chanting mantras to Lord Karṇa, and meditating on all the places of pilgrimage located on the banks of the Ganges, one should bathe in whatever body of water is at hand. Then, O Yudhisthira, the devotee should rub his body, thus purifying his mouth, back, chest, arms, and waist as a prelude to worshiping the Supreme Lord, who wears brilliant yellow garments and gives pleasure to all creatures. By so doing, the devotee will destroy all sins. Afterwards, he should chant the sacred Gayatri mantra, offer oblations to his forefathers, and then enter a Vishnu temple to worship Narayan, the husband of Lakshmi Devi. If possible, the devotee should then fashion murtis of Radha Krishna or Shiva Parvati out of gold and offer them nice devotional worship. He should fill a copper or clay pot with pure water mixed with scents. Then he should cover the pot with a cloth lid and a gold or silver lid. In this way, preparing an asana upon which the Radha Krishna or Shiva Parvati murtis may sit for worship. According to his capacity, the devotee should then worship these murtis with fragrant incense, a bright ghee lamp, and sandalwood paste, along with camphor, musk, kumkum, and other scents, as well as selected aromatic flowers like white lotuses and other seasonal blooms, and also very nicely prepared foods. On this spiritual Ekadashi, the devotee should dance and sing ecstatically before the deity. He should avoid prajalpa at all costs and should not talk to or touch low-born persons or a woman in her menstrual period. On this day, he should be especially careful to speak the truth and should not criticize anyone before the deity of Lord Vishnu, the Brahman or the spiritual master. Rather, with other devotees, he should listen to Vaishnavas, read the glories of Lord Vishnu from the Puranas. One should not drink or even touch water to his lips on this Ekadashi, and one who is unable to perform this austerity should drink only water or milk. Otherwise, the fast is considered broken. One should remain awake that night, singing and playing musical instruments for the transcendental pleasure of the Supreme Person. During the first quarter of the Ekadashi night, the devotee should offer some coconut meat to his worshipable murti. During the second part, he should offer bell fruit. During the third part, an orange. And as the night draws to a close, some betel nut. Remaining awake during the first part of Ekadashi night bestows on the devotee the same merit as that gained by performing the Agnistoma Yajna. Staying awake during the second part of the night bestows the same merit as that gained by performing a Vajrapaya Yajna. Staying awake during the third part gives one the same merit as that attained by performing an Ashvamedha yajna. And one who remains awake throughout the night receives all of the above-mentioned merit, as well as the grand merit of having performed a Rajasuya yajna. This, therefore, is no better fasting. Thus, there is no better fasting day in the year than Padmini Ekādashi. Nothing can compare to it as a giver of merit, whether it be a fire sacrifice, knowledge, education, or austerity. Indeed, whoever observes this sacred Ekadashi fast receives all the merit attained by bathing in all places of pilgrimage in the world. After remaining awake through the night, the devotee should bathe at sunrise and then worship me nicely. He should then feed a qualified brāhmaṇa and respectfully give him the murti of Lord Keshava and the pot filled with pure scented water. This gift will guarantee the devotee success in this life and liberation in the hereafter. O sinless Yudhisthira, as you have requested, I have described the rules and regulations as well as the benefits regarding the Ekadashi that occurs during the light fortnight of the extra leap year month. Fasting on this Padmini day bestows merit equal to that gained by fasting on all other Ekadashis. The Ekadashi that occurs during the dark part of the extra month, which is known as Padmini Ekādaśī, is as powerful at removing sin as this one, Padmini. Now, please listen carefully as I narrate to you a fascinating account connected with this sacred day. Puruṣottama Muni once recited this history to Naradji. Puruṣottama Muni once had occasion to rescue Ravana from the prison of Arjuna. Upon hearing of this event, Narad Muni asked his friend, O greatest of sages, since Ravana defeated all the demigods, including Lord Indra, how could Arjuna defeat Ravana, who was so skilled in battle? Puruṣottama Muni replied, O great Narad, during the Treta Yuga, Kartabirya, Arjuna's father, took birth in the Hatya dynasty. Hataya. His capital city was Mahishmati, and he had 1,000 queens, whom he loved very dearly. None of them, however, was able to give him the son he wanted so badly. He performed sacrifices and worshipped the demigods and forefathers, but due to the curse of some sages, he was unable to beget a son. And without a son, a king cannot enjoy his kingdom, just as a hungry man cannot never really enjoy his senses. King Kritavarya carefully considered his plight and then decided to perform severe austerities to achieve his goal. Thus, he donned a loincloth made of bark, grew matted locks, and turned over the reins of his kingdom to his ministers. One of his queens, Padmini, who was born in the Ikshvaku dynasty, who was the best of all women, and who was the daughter of King Harishchandra, saw the king leaving. She felt that since she was a chaste wife, her duty was to follow in the footsteps of her beloved husband. Removing all the regal garments from her beautiful body and donning one piece of cloth, she thus followed her husband into the forest. At last, Kartabirya reached the summit of Mount Ganamadam, where he performed severe austerities and penances for 10,000 years. meditating and praying to Lord Gadadhar. Jai Shri who wields a club, but still he did not get a son. Seeing her dear husband waste away to mere skin and bone, Padmini thought of a solution to the problem. She went to the chaste Anusuya with great reverence. Padmini said, "O great lady, my dear husband Kartabirya has been performing austerities for the last 10,000 years. But Lord Keshava, who alone can remove one's past sins and present difficulties, has not yet become pleased with him. O most fortunate one, please tell me a fast day we can observe and thus please the Supreme Lord with our devotion, so much so that he will bless me with a nice son who will later rule the world as emperor." Upon hearing the words of Padmini, who was very chaste and deeply devoted to her husband, the great Anasuya replied to her in a very cheerful mood. "O beautiful lotus-eyed lady, usually there are 12 months in a year, but after every 32 months, an extra month is added, and the two Ekadasis that occur during this month are called Padmini Ekādaśī and Padmini Ekādaśī. They fall on the Dwadasis of the night, light and dark part of the month, respectively. You should fast on these days and remain awake throughout the night. If you do so, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, will bless you with a son." O Nard, in this way, Anasuya, the daughter of the sage Karṇa, explained the potency of these special Ekadasis. Hearing this, Padmini faithfully followed the instruction to fulfill her desire for a son. Padmini fasted completely even from water and remained awake all night, chanting the glories of God and dancing in ecstasy. Lord Keshava thus became most pleased with her devotion in ecstasy. Lord Keshava thus became most pleased with her devotion and appeared before her, riding on the back of the great Garuda. The Lord said, "O beautiful one, you have greatly pleased me by fasting on this special Ekadashi of the extra month. Please, ask me for a benediction." Hearing these sublime words from the overseer of the entire universe, Padmini offered the Supreme Lord devotional prayers and asked him for the boon her husband desired. Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa was moved to reply, "O gentle lady, I'm very happy with you, for there is no month dearer to me than this, and the Ekadashi that occur during this month are the most dear to me of all Ekadasis. You have followed Anasuya's instructions perfectly, and therefore I shall do what will please you. You and your husband will have the son you desire." The Lord, who removes the distress of the world, and then spoke to King Kartabirya, "O king, please ask of me any boon that will fulfill your heart's desire, for your dear wife has pleased me greatly." The king was very happy to hear this. Naturally, he asked for the son he had desired for so long. "O master of the universe, O killer of the Maru demon, kindly grant me a son who will never be conquered by demigods, human beings, snakes, demons, or hobgoblins, but whom only you can defeat." The Supreme Lord immediately replied, "So be it," and disappeared. The king became very pleased with his wife and returned to his palace in her company. Padmini soon became pregnant, and the night the mighty armed Kartabiri Arjuna appeared as her son. He was the mightiest person in all the 3 worlds. And thus even 10-headed Ravan could not defeat him in battle, except for Lord Narayan, who holds a club, a disc, and other symbols in his hands. No one could overcome him. By the merit that resulted from his mother's strict and faithful observance of Padmini Ekādashi, he could defeat even the dreaded Ravan. This is not at all surprising, O Naradji, for Kartabiri Arjuna was the fulfillment of the benediction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. With these words, Pulastya Muni departed. The Supreme Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa concluded, O sinless Yudhisthira, as you have inquired for me, I have explained to you the power of the special Ekadashi. O best of kings, whoever observes this fast will surely attain to my present personal abode. And similarly, if you want all your desires fulfilled, you should do likewise. Hearing these words from his beloved Krishna, Keshava, Dharmaraj, Yudhisthira became filled with joy, and then became filled with joy. And when the time came, he faithfully observed Padmini Ekādashi. Sutta Goswami concluded, O sage Sanaka, I have explained to you all about this meritorious Ekadashi. Anyone who devotedly fasts on the Ekadashis that occur during the extra leap year months, carefully following all the rules, becomes glorious and happily goes back to Godhead. And one who merely hears or reads about these Ekadashis will also obtain great merit and ultimately enter the abode of Lord Hari. This ends the narration of the glories of Padmini Ekādashi, the Ekadashi that occurs during the light fortnight of the extra leap year month from the Skanda Purana. And as we have been customarily reciting all the names of the Ekadashis to assure that we get the full benefit, we can recite them now. The Vaishnava name: Utpana, Mokshara, Sapala, Putrara, Trishprisha, Vaimi, Vijaya, Amalaki, Papa Vimochani, Damana Pani, Damana Karopani, Barutini, Mohini, Apara, Pandava Nirja, Yogini, Deva Sayani, Kamika, Pavitra Rupani, Anada, Parshva, Indira, Pashankush, Rama, Devotani, Visuddha, and Sudha. Jai. When is it? Padmini Ekādashi ki Jai.
Actually, it should be made Pandava itself, but due to this extra leap year month, like Puruṣottama month, 2 Ekadashis are extra.
Yeah. So this takes the place
every 3 years.
Of Nirjal.
Every 3 years once, this month is coming from.
Okay, so Nirjal will be next.
Next to next.
Next to next. Okay. So now we are reciting from Shrimadbhāgavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraye
Tato Jayamudiraye
Nasta Prayasya Bhadreshu
Nasta Prayasya Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhagavati Naistiki.
Bhagavati Naistiki.
Reading from Shrimadbhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, Text 7. Text 7. Yat Samsrayad Drupad Keham Ugapatanam Yat Samsrayad Drupad Geham Upagatanam Rajnam svayaṁvara mukhe smara durmadanam Ragnam svayaṁvara mukhe smara durmadanam Tejo Ritam Kalu Maya Bihatas Maya Bihatas
Tejo Ritam Kalu Maya Bihastas
Cha
Cha
Matsya
Matsya
Tejoritam Kalu Maya Bihatas Chamatsya
Tejo Ritam Kalu Maya Bihatas Matsya
Sadikritena
Satchikritena
Dhanusadigata
Dhanusadigata
Cha Krishna Sadikritena Dhanusadigata Cha Krishna
Satchikritena Dhanusadigata Cha Krishna
Yat Samsraya Drupada Geham Upagatanam
Yat Samshraya Drupadageham Pavatanam
Yat Samsraya Drupada Geham Apagatanam
Yat Samshraya Drupadageham Pavatanam
Rajnam Svayaṁvara Mukhe Smara Durmadanam Rajnam Svayaṁvara Mukhe Smara Durmadanam Tejoritam Kalu Maya Bihatas Chamatsya Tejovidam Kalu Maya Bihatas Chamatsya Sajikritena Manu Sadigata Cha Krishna Sajikritena Danu Sadigata Cha Krishna
Yat Samshraya Drupadageham Upagatanam
Yat Samsraya Drupadageham Upagatanam
Ragnam Swayamvara Mukhe Smara Durmadanam
Rajnam Swayamvara Mukhe Smara Durmadanam
Tejo Ritam Kalu Maya Bihatas Chamatsya
Tejoridam Sajikritena Danu Sadigata Cha Krishna Yat Samsraya Drupadageham Upagatanam Rajnam Swayamvara Mukhe Smara Durmadanam Tejoritam Kalu Maya Bihatas Chamatsya Sajitrikena Dasina Digata Cha Krishna Yat by who's merciful Samshrayat by strength Drupadageham in the palace of King Drupad Upagatanam all those assembled Rajnam of the princes Swayamvara Mukhe on the occasion of the selection of the bridegroom Smaradur Madanam all lusty in thought
lusty in thought.
Teja,
Teja,
power.
power.
Ritam,
Ritam,
vanquished.
vanquished.
Kalu,
Kalu,
as it were.
as it were.
Maya,
Maya,
by me.
by me.
Abhihata,
Abhihata,
pierced.
pierced.
Cha,
Cha,
also.
also.
Matsya,
Matsya,
the fish target.
the first target.
Sajikritena,
Sajikritena,
by equipping the bow.
by equipping the bow.
Danusa,
Dhanusha,
by that bow also.
by that bow also.
Abhigata,
Adhigata,
gained. Cha, also. Krishna, Draupadi. Yat samshraya druparage amubhagatanam rajnam svayaṁvara mukhe smaradur madanam te joritam kalumaya vihatascha matsya sajikritena danusadigata te Krishna. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charnadavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada. Only by His merciful strength was I able to vanquish all the lusty princes assembled at the palace of King Drupad for the selection of the bridegroom. With my bow and arrow I could pierce the fish target and thereby gain the hand of Draupadi. Please repeat. Only by His merciful strength
only by His merciful strength
was I able to vanquish all the lusty princes
all the lusty princes
assembled at the palace of King Drupad
assembled in the palace of King Draupadī
for the selection of the bridegroom.
for the selection of bridegroom.
With my bow and arrow,
My bow and arrow,
I could pierce the fish target
I could pierce the fish target
and thereby gain the hand of Draupadi.
and thereby gain the hand of Draupadi.
Only by His merciful strength was I able to vanquish all the lusty princes assembled at the palace of King Drupad for the selection of the bridegroom. With my bow and arrow I could pierce the fish target and thereby gain the hand of Draupadi. Purport. Draupadi was the most beautiful daughter of King Drupad. And when she was a young girl, almost all the princes desired her hand. But Drupad Maharaj decided to hand over his daughter to Arjuna only, therefore contrived a particular way. There was a fish hanging on the inner roof of the house under the protection of a wheel. The condition was that out of the princely order one must be able to pierce the fish's eye through the wheel of protection, and no one would be allowed to look up at the target. On the ground, there was a water pot in which the target and wheel were reflected, and one had to fix his aim towards the target by looking at the trembling water in the pot. Maharaj Drupad well knew that only Arjuna, or alternately Karṇa, could successfully carry out the plan. But still, he wanted to hand his daughter to Arjuna. And in the assembly of the princely order, when Dristadumna, the brother of Draupadi, introduced all the princes to his grown-up sister, Karṇa was also present in the game. But Draupadi tactfully avoided Karṇa as the rival of Arjuna, and she expressed her desires through her brother Dristadumna that she was unable to accept anyone who was less than a Kshatriya. The Vaishyas and the Sudras are less important than the Kshatriyas. Karṇa was known as the son of a carpenter, a Sudra. So Draupadi avoided Karṇa by this plea. When Arjuna, in the dress of a poor Brahmin, pierced the difficult target, everyone was astonished, and all of them, especially Karṇa, offered a stiff fight to Arjuna. But as usual, by the grace of Lord Krishna, he was able to emerge very successful in the princely fight, and thus gain the valuable hand of Krishna, or Draupadi. Arjuna was lamentingly remembering the incident in the absence of the Lord, by whose strength only. He was so powerful. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshushrunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave. We can imagine in our minds. I saw a movie with this depicted, and there is a fish up high in the ceiling, and there is a wheel just outside of the fish, and as that wheel turns, the spokes of the wheel have spaces between them. So the only way he could get that arrow through to pierce the eye of the fish was to know exactly the right time to make it through those spokes. And that he's saying the only way he could do that was by Krishna. So, see, today we have a lot of people entertaining for the purpose of the satisfaction of an audience, the general public to be entertained. But rarely do you ever see the performers accrediting their ability to the Supreme Person. And so, as well, a lot of these abilities that men display are for their own aggrandizement and for their own pride and arrogance, to be promoting themselves as being great. But here we see the mind of Arjuna. Though he was a Kshatriya and equipped for battle, he was still humble. And see, too, another thing is being revealed here about Karṇa. Karṇa was actually the firstborn of the Pandavas.
Yes.
And he got sent up the river, and thereby his father was, what does it say? He was a shoemaker, I think it was.
Horse keeper or something.
What is it?
Horse keeper.
Horse.
Horse caretaker of.
Taking care of horses. So, then the general public was not aware of the fact that Karṇa was the firstborn of Queen Kunti. And because of that fact, then, Karṇa, until he was accepted by the Kauravas for his qualities, there's something brought out in this that he's not necessarily very much announced. But this quality of the Kauravas to recognize the good qualities of Karṇa, this is something that's not very much looked at. But because of that, Karṇa went with the Kauravas, even though he was bloodline connected to the Pandavas. And it was out of the fact that the Kauravas had respected him and his abilities. So this brings out something that we can also look at as a lesson as well in our preaching to others, because it was by this very decision that he was either on the right side or the wrong side.
Yeah.
And all that was all the way he was being dealt with by his very own brothers, who didn't know, out of ignorance, we could say, they were living in the mode of goodness in sharing association with Krishna, but still they were ignorant of the fact that Karṇa was their older brother.
Yeah, it was hidden by his mother.
Yeah, and so thereafter, no more women can keep secrets because of that. That was kept by Queen Kunti, for no one else to know that. So, see too, in our preaching, we can take this as a very important instruction as well. The tongue is made in such a way that by the difference between one syllable can make the difference of a person's life.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a difference in Hiranyakasipu's announcement of the son he would bring forth would not kill his enemy, but would kill the enemy of his enemy. So I find that quite humorous in that Krishna is doing it behind the scenes, and he's making up this whole thing as his own entertainment. So it is quite humorous from that perspective. And then Krishna having it written so that we can also see it from his perspective as well. And that is getting into the meaning of Krishna consciousness. There's the realization of consciousness in the medical field of psychology, but the fact that it determines our future is not very much understood. So, the things we speak are out of the ideas we have formulated in our minds as hopefully truth. Those who are not living for the sake of truth, then, they get the result that they are creating by the creation of lies. Then the truth that we are is revealed by the words that we speak. So if we are an eternal servant of Krishna, we're going to have a particular manner about us, and we're going to speak in a certain way. And the whole system of society and levels of consciousness are somewhat built in to the activities that the people in those levels engage in. Because automatically their conversations are going to be have to be centered around the activities that they're doing for the sake of performing those activities. And a Brahmin is dealing constantly with the things of the altar, with the things of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with keeping in his own personal life those qualities and activities that are described as that which is favorable to devotional service. So without the knowledge of devotional service, people have no means of being able to know what kind of things they should be engaging in. And it's only by the wisdom of the Brahmins that they can be brought to the understanding of how each act, all the acts of all the quote-unquote castes that there are, or divisions of people that there are in society, ultimately are supposed to be working together as one big whole. But when we have a society set up with competition, set up in such a way that, how can we say, there is oppressive forces at work in our lives that keep us, in some cases, from accomplishing the fullness of what our normal potential would give us the ability to perform. And this is what Krishna is trying to persuade us to come to the understanding of, to be able to, by applying his precepts of a lifestyle, by keeping the four regulative principles. We don't eat meat, fish, or eggs. We don't take intoxicants. We don't have illicit sexual relations with other human beings. We don't gamble. All these things are a waste of human energy that keep us, while we are engaged in those activities, from performing activities that are of a beneficial nature. And that which is past we can never gain back again. So no matter how much money may be gained in the act of a gambling pursuit, there is no spiritual benefit to the gain for the time that was spent earning, and for the most part, the consciousness by the indulgent soul is all about I, me, and mine, gathering for the sake of I, me, and mine. This is all false ego. And we know the result of false ego. At best, it gets to reach the stage that it's at right now. And in most cases, it's after having gone through much punishment for taking part in activities that are the cause of karmic reactions, which is what all the lower planetary systems are made for the purpose of fulfilling. And so, by lack of knowledge, human beings degrade themselves into lower and lower experiences, which then eventually leads to pain, suffering, hellish conditions. Whereas applying the precepts given to us by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, our bodies still may be put through the suffering, but the consciousness, the consciousness that we are able to retain because of faith, because of developed activities in our minds that we are brought to remember, are brought into our remembrance. And all these activities that we engage in for the purpose of fulfilling Krishna's desire and Krishna's will, when it's brought back to our minds, it will give us an experience of consciousness that exceeds that being experienced by people who have no knowledge whatsoever, the purpose of pain, purpose of suffering, the purpose of life, and purpose of relationships. So every little thing we take part in our life is the cause of our future. And so if we keep this in mind, getting back to the psychological perspectives of the mind. So we use terms in society that are meant as that which regards everyone in society. We call it common sense, right? So this is a sense of consciousness about things believed that everyone should hold in common as truth. That certain activities that human beings perform are performed with the understanding that they are necessary for us to continue our existence. So we call that conscientious, right? So there's conscientiousness, which is acting out of the will of good, wanting to do what is right, and we call that conscientiousness. But when a person is led by spiritual motivation, it goes beyond all that can be attained by simply mundane good, so to speak. So we perform activities in our daily jobs, hoping that our jobs will have some benefit for other human beings, and that they, by recognizing that benefit, then they will want to support us in our work. But Krishna consciousness is independent of the likes or dislikes of any other human being. The acts of devotion being engaged in by the soul that is engaging in loving devotional service, that loving devotional service is being recognized by the Supreme Person. And He is the one that we are being given instructions that we please. So in pleasing Krishna, then, everybody else that is in line, that has given us instruction on how to please Krishna, then we please everyone. And then society is also put in order. When we do everything properly ourselves, when everybody is engaged in doing everything we're supposed to, everything works perfectly. And that's the way society ideally is meant to function. And when it is functioning perfectly, everybody's consciousness is of a higher nature, and we are experiencing happiness and joyfulness just from being able to work together. See, and it was even recognized, people we call aborigines, primitive. Many times when you see observations of primitive groups of people engaging in labor, they sing together. They sing together while they're harvesting crops. And Krishna himself is giving us the understanding that we can sing with everything we do, and more powerful than the words of the mouth is the sound created by the mind. It's the mind that's going to lead us into the next set of environments. By the mouth, others can hear, though. But this mind is personal advancement that we're making with. The mouth, we give out vibration for others to hear, right? And make advancement with. But it is the formation of the consciousness, the thoughts of our mind that we formulate constantly that are having the biggest effect upon the outcome of our lives, because that's our inner desires, those inner thoughts we are having is related directly to the desires we have to see fulfilled what we are formulating in our minds as perfect for us. And see, when things go against that, then we formulate in our minds anger, disturbances, and things of this nature. And this is how society is going through so many. Every day, human beings are putting themselves through so many tests and so many experiences, sometimes unnecessarily, when they are in fact reacting to the forces of karma. See, that what is keeping mankind from advancing spiritually is the karma he is producing mentally, physically, constantly. Mentally, physically, constantly. Karma is being created. We create karma with our minds, we create karma with our eyes, we create karma with our ears, we create karma by wanting the use of these senses for our satisfaction. And so the only way we can get to the place where we don't have that wantonness is to find that satisfaction with Krishna, who provides everything that we need. And then we don't find ourselves in positions of, I need this, I want this, give me that, give me this thing. This is all a false ego. So, see, serving Krishna does bring us to a place outside of poverty, you might say. We're most poverty-stricken, and we're at the same time we're the wealthiest people there is. We have no material wealth whatsoever. We have no fears whatsoever, because we know, because of the Supreme Lord owning everything, we have everything at our disposal that we need. So we're the richest and we're the poorest simultaneously. But poverty is only looked at by one who has the eyes to think that wealth is based only upon money's use. Money is not our only attribute societally, but abilities that we have to perform functions is worth more than any accumulation of wealth can give us. You have ability to perform activities, it can do more for you than having money and sitting in a deathbed situation waiting to leave your body. So consciousness is the key to all of the situations we are creating for ourselves in the future. And so if we are fully conscious of the need to develop the strength and the ability to live our lives free from the controls of karma. The karma has written into the laws and the makeup of the substance of the world's energies is the laws of karma, built in. Laws of karma are built in. We can't get away from it without removing our endeavors, removing our desires, removing our wants and our likes away from that material endeavor that we think we're going to find fulfillment with, and aiming it towards pure love for God. And to some people it sounds really ridiculous. But pure love for God is the fulfillment of everything we are looking for in life. And without having it, we won't know it. And the only way it's being given is by people showing themselves in a place of wanting to have it. And so we see from life, you get what you want to a great extent, if what you want is in line with those things that are achievable. But we have to purify the desires of our hearts to get what we really want.
We don't know.
Yeah. See, if we are wanting every day, there comes the thought in the mind, something we want. And it is a state of wantonness we are in when the mind has that thought approach it. I want this. I'm thirsty. I'm hungry. I'm cold. I'm hot. I'm inside. I want to go outside. I'm outside. I want to go inside. All these thoughts are passing through our minds when at every moment there is the means of connecting with the Supreme Personality of Godhead who overcomes all obstacles, who gives us the ability to overcome all obstacles by simply applying to our lives and knowing the need to engage these physical bodies in spiritual activities. And if we can find no other way to do that, we can simply chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare, which is itself a prayer to be engaged in the spiritual energy, which also simultaneously, while it is a plea to be engaged, it is fulfilling the requirement of being engaged. Glorious. Glory. A request that is self-fulfilling. Self-fulfilling request. Think about that. That's what japa is. It is a self-fulfilling request. Yeah. That holds the key to unlock the treasure house of love, the treasure house of experience of happiness, of satisfaction, of relief from the bondage of everything that this material world has brought us under the control of. And now we can live as free moral agents. Time is running over. Anybody have any questions, any comments, any realization? Thank you, Prabhupada. Jai. Krishna's mercy. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Padmini Ekādaśī ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.